Well, I hope you all had a good Breeders' Cup. It's always a very difficult handicapping challenge and wagering challenge to be sure. Um, Today didn't go nearly as well with my selections as yesterday. We had to wait till the last two races, where my second choice won race 11, and my top pick won the 12th race at 13-1, and the late double paid $125 for a dollar. So always great to have a bailout at the end of the day, and I hope a few people took advantage of that. Uh, so fierceness ran his heart out, but congratulations to Sierra Leone for putting it all together and running them down, because that was one brave effort by fierceness, who was my top pick in the classic. So another Breeders' Cup in the books, and we move on and get back to regular everyday racing. And I have chosen for the race of the day to go with a maiden turf race at Belmont at Aqueduct, and uh, I should mention that my first win wager in a little experiment with money management was on fierceness. So I will certainly work on a good way of presenting the statistics, showing, I lost $7 on my first win wager in this process. So in race number 3 at Aqueduct tomorrow. It's for 2-year-old maiden New York breds, going a mile and a 16th on the turf, and looks like we might have a good price possibility. I've already gone through the race. We'll try and keep this video fairly short, since I'm very tired. Look, I'm still wearing the same sweatshirt I wore all weekend. It's a typical Breeders' Cup weekend. It's very long. It's tiring to be sure, especially as one who provides selections for whoever is willing to make use of them. I was happy to take a ride down to the harness track in Dayton, Ohio, and I met dozens of wonderful horse players at the facility there. It's a beautiful facility, and I look forward to visiting again, and even taking a few harness races. Would be a wonderful time. But I spent a few hours there today, uh, introducing myself and handing out my selections for both Aqueduct and Del Mar to those fine folks there. And I hope to hear from some of them, and hopefully some will be watching this video. So in race 3 at Aqueduct, the number 1 Prince of Danger is a first-time starter. The sire stats show his sire with 24 turf winners, and none of them being first-time starter winners. So we got a big fat 0 in the layoff category. The trainer's not a real good turf trainer. He has had a debut winner on turf. Actually, a couple of them, 8% out of 38 total. So, but still, I can't recommend this first time starter. Number 2, Real Savvy. Don't really have any information on the sire for Real Savvy. As a freshman sire. But this horse in his last race was on the turf at Saratoga, mile and 16th. Pressed the early pace and missed by just ahead at this mile and 16th distance. Looking at the broodmare sire stat, uh, broodmare sire street sense, there's plenty of class potential with 46% of the turf winners, and it's a good sample size of 99 turf winners. 46% of them come at in the highest purse category, which is greater than $50,000, and this is a $75,000 purse race. And I should mention, since there are 5 times as many dirt races in the racing universe in North America, um, the turf racing, my statistics are always based on all of the turf winners, and not just maiden turf winners or more specific category. Since we have far fewer turf races uh, to add to the database. So, in this case, the Street Sense as the broodmare sire has, over the most recent 3 years, 99 turf winners, and that nice percentage of 46% of them coming when the purse is greater than $50,000. And that ranks nicely up the list in the field. There's only actually 2 in the field that have a higher percentage in that purse category on the broodmare sire report. And it's nice to be able to look at at the field at a glance like that, and see uh, how each entrant ranks against each other. So in the end, Real Savvy is a contender. There's class potential there, and it's already shown with the one turf race where I missed by a head that um, certainly a contender. Number 3, Sky Masterson. Uh, Tried a route on turf for the first time last time out. It was over the Aqueduct turf course. Pressed the early pace and just got out finished at the end. Finished third, only missing by a length and 3/4. Um, on the breeding stats, the sire stats are fine. The broodmare sire stats are a bit of a mystery. Courageous Cat as a broodmare sire on my database only shows 3 turf winners, so there's really not much we can gain out of that. And um, this horse is certainly not impossible. Gary Contessa, not the greatest turf trainer, um, but off of that first effort at a route, uh, is a contender, but I certainly prefer others. Um, Even with Real Savvy right next to him in post 2 and this one in post 3, and they both like to show a little early speed. We're already maybe setting this race up for the stalkers or closers. So we'll go on to number 4, Leon Blue. Um, Tried a route on turf for the first time last time out. And again, from post 11, showed good early speed, uh, and ran on and missed by less than a length. Uh, that was a solid effort from post 11. Was very well meant. Went off as the favorite in the race, and it was a big field. So there are things to like about Leon Blue for sure. A good solid contender. Switches from Rosario to John Velasquez, um, both excellent turf jockeys. And Leon Blue is certainly in my mix, in serious consideration. So we'll move on to Powered by Cole, number 5. And both career races were at this distance on turf, one at Saratoga, one at Aqueduct. Lost by 11 lengths, lost by 9 lengths. Uh, the sire data is insufficient. Really don't have any turf winners by Instagram. So must be another freshman sire. And on the female side, with the broodmare sire, is Seeking the Gold. and the stats for Seeking the Gold as a broodmare sire are just fine. 38 turf winners. Uh, Boy, a really low non-firm turf percentage. Horses with Seeking the Gold as their broodmare sire really seem to prefer firm turf, which of course New York has. It hasn't rained there, just like it hasn't rained here in Ohio much in recent weeks. Um, but still, this horse really hasn't shown anything to date. Um, Gets a jockey switch to Irad Ortiz, which certainly could potentially help. Not impossible. I like others more. So that will take us on to number 6, Big Dossier, first time starter. Uh, Sire data um, for the Sire Slumber, who in my database shows 11 turf winners, and has had one of them was a first time starter. Uh, so that's somewhat encouraging. And I don't have anything on the Broodmare Sire, True Direction. So a bit of a mystery there. Uh, the trainers had 3 previous maidens debut on turf, and none of them have hit the board. Um, Katie Davis, jockey's only 3% jockey on turf. Um, I would certainly shy away and prefer others in this race. Number 7, Calvin's Ride. Um, See, both career starts have been a mile and a 16th on the turf. Dropped down into a maiden optional claimer last time out and is back with maiden special weight company. The 2 races resulted in losing by 10, losing by 8 lengths. Um, there. And the sire data for Calvin's Ride, Temple City, sire stats are just fine. The broodmare sire stats are just fine. No big positives, no big negatives. But what the horse has shown us so far, no, I would prefer others. Uh, On to Danziger. And Danziger uh, ran one race, maiden $40,000, 6.5 furlongs on the dirt. Now tries turf. It's by War Dancer, who I know off the top of my head is a wonderful turf sire uh, with a fat number of 69% of his turf winners coming when the purse is greater than 50,000. But for class potential, we always like to look at the female side, and the broodmare sire Frost Giant. Um, Only 10 turf winners, but 7 of the 10 um, have come when the purse is greater than $50,000. So my breeding information is pretty good on this Danziger, and but boy, he just ran awful on the dirt. It's 58-1. The trainer, according to Brisnet, and by the way, I use Brisnet past performances. Um, they say that the trainer first time grass, eight starters, no winners. Only one of the 8 hit the board. So really looks up against it, but I wouldn't question you at all if you wanted to throw this horse into triples and superfecta wagers. And certainly going to be a big price. And from the breeding perspective, there are things to like. Um, we'll go on to number 9, Calling Card, and had 2 races both on turf. First time out, 5.5 furlongs, and missed by 2.5 lengths. The last time out, tried this mile and a 16th distance on turf, and rallied from well back to finish second, missing by 2.25 lengths. So that was certainly an improved effort for Calling Card, and I don't have any information on his sire. Again, must be a new freshman sire. And on the broodmare sire side, Um, Tis now. Uh, Stats are fine. The purse column, 27% of 153 turf winners greater than $50,000 is a bit on the low side. Um, so I think just that stat right there would shy me away a bit from making calling card a big contender. Wouldn't be the biggest surprise in the world, but I prefer others. Number 10, Caddy Master. Uh, First time out, 6 furlongs on turf, and kind of ran evenly, finished sixth. And then last time out was 6 furlongs on the dirt. It's an interesting move. What do we got for breeding information on Caddy Master by Liam's Map? It's just fine for turf breeding. It's really right about the average. And uh, the broodmare sire Catianus um, is fine turf breeding too. Kind of leans slightly towards turf, and all the stats are fine. But this horse seems to be a bit of a stretch. Uh, the workout since the last race really not all that great. Um, Trainer, the Brisnet has the trainer at winning 20% first time going a route, which is a nice healthy percentage to be sure. But still, I think I'll take a stand and let Caddy Master beat me. Number 11, Trolley Girl, one race at this distance on turf at Aqueduct back in early September. Kind of ran evenly, finished sixth. Um, Sire data is perfectly fine for Mendelssohn. Uh, Layoff numbers nicely above average, showing a 138. Uh, Broodmare sire, Pioneer of the Nile. Stats are again all get a passing grade. No standout figures though. Um, take a stand against this one, although it does switch to Manny Franco and the trainer Christophe Clement. Um, they team up quite well with Franco winning 24% of 21 starters for this trainer. So there's a little glimmer of hope there. Certainly not out of the question. But again, I prefer others. And finally, we get to Just Licorice, whose one race was at this distance on Aqueduct turf, and got bumped and steadied at the start. Um, and it's 14 lengths behind the leader at first call, and cut that margin in half, got to within 7 of the lead, and then just kind of ran evenly at the end and got beat 11 lengths. Um, Horses by Justify. Uh, Justify is proving to be a terrific turf sire with plenty of class potential. This horse is going on 42 days rest. The layoff figure is a 185, so uh, nearly twice the average for foals by Justify to win on 37 to 60 days rest. It's one of the key factors that I look at because for me it's all about trying to determine which horse is most likely to going to run a top effort, and my layoff figures are a terrific tool to help point you in the right direction, especially with maidens like this, where this horse has only had one career start, coming off some type of layoff for the first time, and to see a fat number like that, and especially from uh, a top turf sire, and then on the female side, Candy Ride, um, 49% of 128 turf winners come at greater than $50,000. Um, that's right in the top three in this field. And the layoff figure is right about average for the 37 to 60-day layoff. We got Linda Rice as the trainer, Dylan Davis as the jockey. Uh, Davis wins 4 of 11 when riding for Linda Rice. That's 36%. That's a fat percentage. Um, the workouts since that race are just okay, but I'm willing to take a shot with this horse. There's plenty of potential class wise, and a great turf breeding. Like the outside post, can stay out of trouble. Uh, like the Colton encountered in his only race when he got bumped and steadied at the start. So hoping for a better start. And so to recap on my selection sheet, and I do offer my selections for all the races at Belmont at Aqueduct each day that they run, and they're available on my website. And for this particular race, um, I went with 12 Just Licorice as my top pick. Leon Blue, the 4 for my second choice, and Real Savvy, the 2 for my third choice. And I think that I'd really have to um, put a fourth choice. I didn't on my sheet, but Danziger with the great class potential there, or the breeding stats really quite good. Um, could get into the money at a big price. So that's it for race 3 at Aqueduct tomorrow, and I'll more than likely put my win money on Just Licorice unless there's something I see, in the paddock or in the post parade or leading up to the race that really makes me change my mind. But really should get a good price on Just Licorice. I'm hoping for, at least 10 or 12 to 1. And so we shall see. So uh, I will say goodbye for now, and we'll see you again tomorrow with yet another race to handicap and learn more about my unique stats.